Is it live? Oh. Hi everybody, so sorry we're late. I underestimated how much traffic there would be on the bridge. But here we all are, and today we have so many people with us. Sitting right here is Natasha Smith. I know a lot of you know Natasha from last year when they had the big incident at NCN, and they wanted to take her off here when she was pregnant. Then here we have Andrea. Andrea was recommended to me by Yoel and Melissa. Here we have Carinya. Carinya is a freelance journalist at the BBC. Right? Yeah, I got that right. And I think a lot of people know our friend Elsie Harry here. So today we're talking about sexual harassment, and we just want you guys to listen, leave your comments, ask questions, and let's get this started. So who wants to begin talking about what sexual harassment means to them exactly? And the personal experiences they might have had with it.
Okay, I'll start. So I think it is just coercion or advancements of a sexual type. It could be any kind. It could be over social media. It could be on the street. It could be at work. I think it's just those unwanted advances that offer you or request from you sexual favors or talk about your sexuality. So for example, if somebody makes comments about your breasts, how big your breasts are, or your butts, or that other place in between your legs.
I just never get those things directed at me.
Lucky. I envy you. But I think that it's a very terrible thing that happens in Guyana. Like at the bus park especially, I feel like the bus park is a hot zone for sexual harassment. So I'm a pedestrian and a regular bus catcher. So at the bus park regularly, I get these men catcalling me, and they don't realize that catcalling is actually sexual harassment. So if you have been catcalled, hey girl, you're looking sexy, I like your body, that is sexual harassment. Yeah. I mean, as basic and as simple as it might seem, it is sexual harassment.
I know they had a lot of these posters going around too with the Witness Project. They were doing a lot of work on street harassment. And a lot of people don't think street harassment is actually harassment, but they don't know, when you go out every day, you already set your mind to say, okay, I gotta deal with this. I might be made to feel uncomfortable, even unsafe at times. And that's exactly what happens.
Yeah, you know the instant you leave your house, sometimes it even affects what you're gonna wear. You have to do that, but it's okay if I wear this, I'm gonna get some kind of attention or
I don't wear tights on the road anymore unless I have a long shirt to cover, the area between, because they comment on how big it is, how fat it is, what they want to do with it, and you just want to get from point A to point B.
Yeah, right. You can't walk relaxed.
You can't be comfortable in your own skin because it's like you're objectified.
Mm-hmm. Another point is that it is almost impossible to protect yourself from what can you do? Can you scream at them? Can you fight them? I mean,
you ignore them and you get even more.
Even more comments.
Get even more.
They're gonna how they react if they're gonna flip out and be like.
They get very insulting
when walk behind you and just.
Somebody gave me the suggestion that I should have brought some men on this, right? To talk about it, and it slipped my mind. And we should have actually had some men here because, I don't understand this kind of self-entitled attitude they have when they just see a woman on the road and feel like it is their duty to say something to her or make her feel some kind of way. And Natasha, I wanted you here especially today. Because you guys all know Natasha, right? I know Elsie said she's champion for your cause.
Yes, I'm social media all the time. A lot of people did, and I must say thank you to everybody.
Yeah, but it was really kind of crazy up to last year. Natasha, she has been an anchor at NCM for several years. How many years was it?
At the time was 8.5.
8.5 years, and then she was pregnant last year and was pulled off air. And that was just, how did that make you feel exactly?
Oh, I have to go back there.
Oh gosh, you don't have to. I'm so sorry.
But it wasn't a good feeling, if I should put it like that. I felt terrible for my child. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily for me. It's like he was something I should not have been proud of. I wrote this in my statement. And that just that just got the whole thing. I was so upset about that because he's just innocent. He doesn't know that, okay, I'm causing mommy this problem. Well, it was a happy pregnancy for me, and I really didn't really call for all of the attention that it got.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the attention stressed me out to the extent I went into labor a month early.
Yeah, I did hear about that. Yeah, so like we have sexual harassment is not just like somebody sweeping you off on the road. That is part of it, yeah, but there are certain layers occurring to strike. There are layers. There are layers of sexual harassment and all these things when you have women being pulled off air because they're pregnant, when you have them they're in a working environment and they feel uncomfortable because you made some remark about their gender or sexuality or something. These are all examples of harassment. No, I see Nicole C. Bruce just asked us if she was pulled off air permanently or was it just a hiatus while you were pregnant?
Well, since I came back after being on maternity leave, I was never allowed back. I actually changed jobs.
Really? I did not know that. I honestly thought Natasha was still working at NCN.
No.
You weren't allowed to go back?
Well, for varying reasons. But I was never allowed.
But I think the important thing is not the period of time that she was pulled off of air for, but the reason. I mean, if it's something related to her being a woman, then it is in that bracket of sexual harassment. I mean, if it's something directed towards specifically your gender, because men can't get pregnant, obviously. So I think that is where we need to be clear about that. Not because okay, they're saying, okay, you're pregnant, so take a break, but
yeah, you're perfectly capable.
Exactly.
You're still
pregnancy is not a sickness, you know?
Yeah.
And we need not treat it like that. I mean, maternity leave is there for a reason. If she was on maternity leave, then fine. But other than that, you can't just determine because of this thing that, you know.
And it's not just a one-off case. I know people who I worked with my first set of children, twins. I anchored the news the night before I went into labor. And then there was this one, an international journalist who watched her water broke while she was reading the news. She was on air. And I know people came off air, radio, to go and get their baby. You know, so it's not like it's a disability, it's a condition. Sometimes you get sick and so on.
Okay, Nkosi, I don't know what Nkosi is asking if it's a case whereby they were catering for her dealing with the stress. That is not their decision to make. How do you dictate how much stress somebody can handle? That is not for you to dictate.
That's
so
pregnant. No, it's
exactly.
not. If they have come over like that and said, you know, this is the reason why, but it's the way in which it was done. It is not how, you know, I was waiting for somebody to say, you know, we care about you, and if you want to take time to, I would have appreciated that. I was looking for that, but I didn't get that. I got the total opposite. So it was not that.
And the point of this discussion is not Natasha's personal private business.
It's
sexual harassment.
But
yes.
I was talking to a male colleague of mine, and you know, he was highlighting the fact that males can also be harassed by females. Maybe they have a female boss, maybe a co-worker, somebody that always grabbing their butt or, you know, coming on to them. They don't necessarily like it, but men have this thing about ego, and they will not tell them, hey, I said that woman is
sexually harassing.
Yeah.
So
and even a lot of times when they go forward, they face the chance of being humiliated because it's mostly like males. So of course they'll have that. One of our commenters said that whenever he was here and he would ask some men on the streets why he did harass women, their response is that women like it.
Yeah, I think we should be flattered by
We don't.
We don't
like it.
I like it when somebody says good morning to me.
Yeah, or you have a nice smile. I mean,
like people can say things in respect, but once you mention the body or sex or anything like that,
And even if they say something even if you say something respectful to somebody, they're not inclined to answer you. If they don't want to answer you, don't push it. Don't say you're rude or this. That is not your decision to make. Sorry, I cut off somebody.
I was saying that some women actually, they're flattered that hey, somebody's paying attention to me. Maybe a small amount of people would actually appreciate it. And then there are some women when you tell them, hey, you have a nice smile. Some women will say, oh, thank you. But some women will scoff and and that will just make them more angry.
But I think that's right. I think that's their right if they want to react pleasantly or not. That is their personal right. And I think that it's presumptuous of men to just assume that women should be flattered by it or women do like it. I mean, you shouldn't presume that.
Because you see, they get the idea that we're brought up to be kind of just go with whatever they're doing. So they don't really feel the need that we have a right in rejecting their advances. So that's exactly what happens. That we're being looked at.
Another dimension that we need to look at is victim shaming. Because a lot of times women are made to feel like, oh, it's your fault. Why you did this thing? You did something to encourage it. But I'm thinking, even if I'm wearing a parka and a kinar and I don't know what this thing is called that covers up to here, women are still sexually harassed anyway. So I mean, your dress shouldn't, be used as to say that, okay, you encouraged it based on your dressing, based on the way you behave. Now, unless you explicitly say, please come and sexually harass me, then it's not your fault. You are the victim.
I think that's the way it's done as well, because, like, for instance, some men might say, oh, you're beautiful, or like you said, I like your smile. I don't really see a problem with that.
I think we should distinguish, no, that is not sexual harassment. If you're on the road and somebody says something, hi, I like your smile. Yesterday somebody passed, they said, hi, I like your tattoos. They said, thank you. That was a compliment. Now, if somebody passed now and say, hey, nice breasts or something, I would feel violated because why are you even commenting? Why are you looking at me, forming opinions on my body? And why do you feel the need to tell this to me? So when we're talking about sexual harassment, I think it's clear to make the distinction that while some people can be meaning some people say compliments, that should not necessarily be seen as sexual harassment. But even if it is a nice compliment, the person does not necessarily need to respond to you, and you should back off.
Yeah, you could just make the comment and walk on.
Leave. You don't need to get a response from that.
Yeah. What about personal experiences with sexual harassment?
Oh, well, for me, beyond the words on the street, one time I was waiting for a bus, that was years ago, and a guy on a bicycle just rode past and grabbed my breast, and I was like, what? Yeah.
I think a lot of women have these stories.
Yeah, I was left with my jaw on the ground, literally. And what did I do? I was on the street. I was just in shock. Because I couldn't believe I was violated by a total stranger.
Yeah, last week
felt that it's their prerogative to touch me.
Last week on the last Women's Wednesday, we were talking with Raquel and Amy and Ramonda, and I think at least two of them said that the same similar thing happened to them. Like they were walking on the streets, and some people just like felt the need to touch them. And even I've had this happen to me. I remember one time I was going to school, and a man just passed and slapped me on the butt. I was like 13.
Wow.
Yeah, so these things happen.
I had it worse when I was about 8. Well, I'm from the country, so like our houses are in the apartment. And so I was walking around the neighborhood. This guy met me and he grabbed me. And I was so small and so scared, and so he grabbed me like this. So I just straightened my hand like this, and I and ran. I dropped everything because I went to the shop. So I dropped everything and just ran. When I got home, my parents wanted to know what's happening. But sadly, that was not the only physical altercation I had to prevent myself from being raped. Because it was like I had to develop this mentality of, listen, you're indigenous, you have to go through life. People want to take advantage of that. They see it as a vulnerability.
Yeah.
So we will take advantage of that. One time I was late. The guy tried to grab me in the same manner, tried to throw me on the bed. I put my foot on the bed and pushed him back into the vanity. His back hit the vanity and he let go of me and I ran. Yeah. Same guy, I was washing dishes. He came, he had a gun. He stood at the kitchen had one entrance out, and he was standing at that entrance with a gun. So I'm watching the lyrics. He was like, Natasha, take your clothes off. I said, well, you will have to shoot me. I'm not doing it. I'm not taking my clothes off. So he stood there and, he has this gun. I don't know if it's intimidation,
Yeah.
I said, okay, look, I'm walking past you have to shoot me. And I walked past him. I walked bravely until I got to the stairs and never went back here.
That's brave.
I built this mind, this guy had to shoot me or one time one of my friend's girlfriend's brother picked me up to give me a before I knew it, the seat was down and he was on top of me. Wow. Trying to take my pants off. And I fought, but I'm so weak and he's so strong, I couldn't fight anymore. And then his chain, he had a fat gold chain that touched my face. And I just grabbed his chain and I got it. And I did not let go. He was dying. I know he was dying. He loosed me, and that was it. I told him, I said, I could have killed you. But I didn't. So all of these things that happened throughout my whole life, and then I never admitted this, but I was actually raped by my spouse. Yeah, people don't see it as rape because he did not see it as rape. He thought, oh, she lives with me, and when she wants to or not, she's gonna get it. So from sexual harassment, it could come up to all of these.
Yeah, there's a continuum. Definitely.
And the thing is you could probably prevent yourself from being raped by fighting and harassment. You can't do anything about it. You just have to feel bad about it and just go on your way, I guess. Angola, what about the laws? Like if you feel that somebody harassed you while you're on the street,
we don't. We're not that progressive. We haven't. I'm sorry. I'm just taken aback about everything you just said, and it affected me. So it's taken me a moment to reconfigure my thoughts.
Yeah.
But no, Guyana is not progressive. We don't have any anti-harassment laws. There was a place in the UK, Carinya. Was it the Netherlands? That did anti-harassment law. So if you sexually harass somebody, then you can actually be jailed for it now, or fined or something.
I'm sure you can. There are laws kind of for hate crimes, for sexual harassment, and things like that. So you do have that choice to kind of go to law, and you could get a special order put on, so this person could approach you within this many yards, or restraining order. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. One thing I just noticed is that we keep talking about sexual harassment and keep going back to street harassment. It kind of seems like the same thing. But going back to sexual harassment, I feel like this is such a weighty discussion now. You have to think about the certain things that go into a man. I know rape can happen, but think about what goes through a man's mind when he thinks about raping someone. That possession and that kind of feeling of control. Why? I don't understand necessarily. I feel like this is a conversation that I for one will not be able to deconstruct by myself.
I think power is a power issue, and women are seen as the weaker sex, so to speak.
Possession.
Yeah.
You don't like this, I want to push it like this, I want to do this with you. I can't do it.
And because it's kind of
have a say in this.
It's condoned at the highest levels in politics, in business. You look at what Trump was saying about rapidly, things like that. And if the president of America is saying that, men, businessmen and me will say things. You hear them discussing women they've met and what they're going to do. You hear all of these things, and it's just accepted. it? And if you're in that workplace, how do you respond to that?
Yeah. Because like if my boss and probably make advances towards you, he is not necessarily telling you if you do this with me, if you don't do this with me, I will fire you. But then you feel at the back of your mind that this is eventually what is going to happen. Yeah. So you might comply. You might say, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. All people in authority, because I've known of cases at the University of Guyana where there have been sexual advances made towards students for the promise of higher grades. And I'm thinking, do these students have an outlet, somebody they can speak to about this? Because this person has to teach you for an entire academic year. What are you supposed to do? And then suppose they have to teach you again. These are all the things you worry about, that you have to see them walking on the catwalk. You have to see them at the University of Guyana. If you get in an altercation, who represents your interests? Can you go and say to them, okay, well, while I was standing outside class, he sexually harassed me. And that is why my grades suffered. How do you prove that? So it's a tricky situation with you standing up for yourself and facing backlash for it. And I feel like that's why a lot of people don't say anything about it. They don't recourse. Yes.
Yeah. But if enough women say it and there's like a groundswell, like what's happening with Harvey Weinstein and the media.
Yes.
One person says it, then someone else, and suddenly you're not on your own anymore.
Yeah, I think it takes just one brave person to speak out, and then you have to have a group thing.
Because they could be like a serial
sexual harasser.
Carrying on doing it.
Yeah, but even the case with Taylor Swift, where she said that man grabbed her bottom, I was shocked at the initial responses of the people who were like, I think Taylor Swift is lying. She's such an awful person, who cares? And I'm like, it doesn't matter if you're a good person or a bad person. If this thing happens to you, it's wrong. If you a commercial sexual worker, nobody has the right to sexually harass you. You still maintain your rights as a human being. I mean, it doesn't matter who you are. So I think that's something that needs to be said.
Right now in our comments, the men are going crazy. The men are going crazy because whenever we start these conversations about sexual assault and sexual violence, they always come out of the woodworks and they're not all men. And then they started perpetuating these ideas that, maybe the woman wanted it. And I'm seeing that in these comments right here.
Shame on you.
you.
First of all, we're not saying that all men do this. And second of all, you're not a mind reader. How can you determine that I want to be sexually harassed? I can tell you, I don't want to be sexually harassed. I've never wanted to, and I will never want to be sexually harassed. They're done.
Men need to stop speaking for women. I think we have our own voices.
Let the women speak.
So
yeah. I like the hair flip. Elsie just do. She's like, I ain't got time for this shit.
People would come and say, hey, I want to be great. I want to be harassed by you.
We were talking about that outside. What if the tables were turned and women started harassing?
Catcalling men, sexually harassing men. Given some women do that, but what if women became as aggressive as men? Stalking them. Saying, hey, I like the thing you got between your legs. I want to take it home with me. Go up to you and grab you. How would you feel about that?
It does exist on the other side, like you were saying, but the majority is on the other side. And I don't think men understand how uncomfortable it is walking down the street and having that in every corner, every street around, somebody making a comment. And if you think you're the only person doing it that day, you're not. There's so many other hundreds of people attacking that same woman.
I actually saw a BBC survey that said that 50% of British women in the workplace are sexually harassed compared to 5% men who are sexually harassed.
Are you guys even hearing these statistics? And then even those are people that actually came forward. That's what you have to think about, because a lot of these cases, they go unreported. Persons feel like they can't talk, or they might feel like their job or something is in danger. So of course they go unreported. So if you already have 50%
women.
So imagine the amount of women who are actually being sexually harassed and all that.
I mean, and if it's a case with the other side of the coin, men probably are not reporting as much sexual violence in the home and so on, because you know what happens at the police conversation with a man, they laugh at them. Yeah, most likely they're gonna laugh.
There was this video going around on social media where two ladies were beating a guy and raping him, and this was like people actually, he beat her. Or I would have glad to be the other men, right? I would have glad to be the one why he behaving like that. But this guy was clearly being violated, and he was totally protesting, and it was against his will. And these women were like, and this was fun for some people to look at.
I think there's a problem with our society. But
We
what I
have
will say
brothers,
is,
we have sons.
yes.
I would not want anybody to rape my son, female or male. And I would, I would love to have men come out and say you, because it's what is being done to you is wrong.
Yes.
Once you don't feel that power over your body, your own body, you don't have that power to say no, it is wrong because you have your personal freedom, You don't feel comfortable with a woman touching you then you should let her know that is wrong, or let the authorities know or something.
And they should feel the freedom to do that. The environment should be enabling to allow men to say, okay, well, I was sexually harassed, I was raped, and I wanted to be dealt with. I think each of us need to take our responsibility in this, in the grand scheme of things. Women, you shouldn't sexually harass men. Men, you shouldn't sexually harass women.
Before we go, I feel like we're going down a trend here, where a lot of times, yes, the cases with men being sexually harassed and violated, they are valid. But I feel like when we a lot of times when we talk in women's spaces and aim at addressing women's issues, we kind of get side rail, but what about the men? Your points are valid. That's why I wanted to start a Men's Monday also, so that it doesn't impede on what we're trying to do with Women's Wednesdays, right? And I see those are also some of the comments in there. What about the men? What's happening with the boys? Your conversations are valid, people, but please start them yourselves. Thank you. All right, let's continue.
There's a festival they have in London called Women of the World, and it's all about women's discussion, things like that. But now they have one called Be a Man, and just men having discussions about what it means to be a man today, about masculinity and things like that. Men need to have those discussions too. This isn't going to change without.
Yeah, I'm all about that equality thing, because if you look at the shelters, right? Men are in domestic violence situations. They have nowhere to go. Help and shelter is there. Well, men need to have somewhere to go, and maybe whoever is in authority or somebody who can actually come up with the idea. We need discussions about men. We need safe places for men to go. We need to look, because men.
Well, guess what? Today is Women's Wednesday.
Yeah.
So, men, you discuss that on another day, maybe Monday.
Maybe Monday.
But I can talk about the very first time that I experienced sexual harassment. I was in high school, and I was, talking to this guy. I was in first form. You're all excited to go to high school. Yeah, you meet the guy from a different school that you've never met before, because we're all meeting up together for the first time. And I had been talking to him, and we felt really friendly. And then one time I'm sitting at my desk, and I feel a hand that's not mine on my bottom. So I look down, and I followed the hand, and it's attached to his body. So I just knock it off my bottom, and I'm like, what are you doing? He was like, what do you mean, what am I doing? You like me, right? I was like, yes, I like you, but that doesn't mean that you have the right to touch me. And I muster up all my little courage in my little body, right? At that point, I was thin. And I told the teacher in our class, and I felt like she dealt with it poorly, because she just kind of called him, like, in my presence and said, did you touch this girl on her bottom? And he said, oh, it was an accident. And she was like, okay, Elsie, he said it was an accident. And I'm like, how is that empowering me to feel like, I could come and confide in you and report these things when they happen. But and then he stopped talking to me. He's like, I'm not talking to you anymore because you tried to get me in trouble. But luckily, I came from a home where my parents taught me to be, brave, to stand up for myself. And I said, I don't care if you don't talk to me because you were wrong. And I proceeded to tell all the girls, beware of him because he's a butt toucher. So
I was on the first date with a guy one time, and everything is going well, conversation, everything. And then his hand is on my leg. very uncomfortable. As a matter of fact, this is over. I will not be seeing you again. You know, they feel as though because you're paying some amount of
Yes, like you
that
owe
they can
them
go, they can go all the way, right away. You know, they're not, they just
without even any conversation.
Learn
about
about boundaries.
Yes.
Boundaries are a
every,
thing.
every woman is different as well. So
Yes.
you need to like, okay, well, she needs to like it. I'm a different person, you know. You
Yes.
need to ask this woman, get to know her before you
then you have to know when the time is right to start touching it.
And I have to consent to it. Oh my gosh, I have to consent to it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because Natasha just made the point you have to know when to do it, but sometimes you don't know. So to be safe, ask. I know sometimes a lot of people says that it can kill the mood, it can do this, it can do that.
Better kill the mood.
Raping somebody will be more of a mood killer, believe me. Raping somebody is more of a mood killer. So just ask, do you like this? Do you want me to do
Is
this?
this comfortable? Can we
Have dialogue with your partner.
give you a hug or
Yeah, because I actually told you that he likes touching. He likes touching. Maybe he'll probably.
If like somebody did that and then you could just say, I'm not comfortable with that, and they should respect that, you know.
But then don't come in defense.
Exactly.
This is what I always
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, I was hoping that we would actually get some questions we would actually respond to, because most of the questions we have been getting are very, I don't want to necessarily say what they are, but they are just men being apologizers for sexual harassment and sexual violence. So I will leave them right where they are. And I feel like this segment went in such a whirlwind today. We touched on so many things. And Natasha, thank you so much for deciding to share with us.
You know, a lot of people tell me that all the time, Natasha, you like to share, and I love to share because if somebody can learn from my experience and they can make a better decision, or you know, then that's good for me. That's a win for my life, because it's not good to like keep everything to yourself, because somebody can learn from it, somebody can protect themselves, somebody can avoid the situation. So I love sharing. At the end of my life, I will feel satisfied. I've shared, people learn. That's good.
I think your story would be a voice for so many women who are probably watching this and afraid to, you know, actually say what they would have experienced, and probably give them some courage to walk away from certain situations.
Yes.
Because they might feel that they have to stay in a situation to keep their job.
And they see how you did it and look how far you know.
Yeah, you've been able to move on and grow. So I think
That goes on.
Okay, so thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you some of you for your comments and questions. We look forward to seeing you again next Wednesday. All right then, thanks everybody, bye.
Right here.